Hey guys, Cody here, and today I'm going to be showing you cards. The different cards that are used in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game. And so, if you want to make a strong competitive deck, you need to know all about the different features of these cards. There's three main card types: monsters, spells, and traps. To win a duel, you must construct a deck that's well balanced with these three types of cards, as well as use them as efficiently as you can. So let's take a look at these cards so we can develop your strategy. So here's a monster card. These guys are the main cards during battle. The role of a monster card is to murder your opponent's monster and reduce your opponent's life points. Of course, monsters with higher attack and defense make a more devastating impact. Keep in mind that you can place one monster on the field per turn normally, and there's various types of monsters, each with different features. Sorry for that, folks. And so, by using them efficiently at the right time, you can get the difference between victory and defeat against your opponent. And so, these light brown cards are normal monster cards. These are the basics. Some of them are pretty powerful. And that orange monster card I just showed you earlier, that is an effect monster card. These guys have various effects to them. If you compare them to the effects of spells and traps, many effect monsters have pretty useful effects to them. And sometimes effect monsters with low attack and defense points can take an important role during the duel, so keep that in mind. Next are one of the cards that can be put within your extra deck, which is, wait for it, not like that, a fusion monster card. These guys can be summoned by using 2 or more fusion material monsters, along with a spell card such as polymerization, for an example. The way you summon a fusion monster is to take the card, is to check the cards, the appropriate fusion monster, and see what material monsters you need to summon it. And once you have a special spell card that can fuse the fusion material monsters together, you activate the card, put the monsters in your graveyard, grab the respective fusion monster you want to fusion summon, and place it in your monster card zone, either in attack position, which is vertically, or horizontally, which is your defense mode. You can fusion summon monsters, the fusion materials, from your hand or on the field. Next, ritual monsters, which are these blue cards. These are part of your main deck. You can summon these special guys to the field only when you fulfill the specific requirements by having the designated ritual spell and monsters as a tribute. To ritual summon a monster, check the ritual monster card that's in your hand and see if you have the respective ritual spell card. And you basically tribute any monsters you need whose levels equal to the level of the ritual monster card in your hand. So first, activate the card, send any of the monster set equal to the level of the ritual monster you're summoning to the field, which can come from your hand or the field. Send them to the graveyard, and put the ritual monster card on the field, either in attack position or defense position. Next is the two other cards that can be a part of your extra deck. Synchro Monster cards. These cards are summoned by combining tuner type effect monsters, or tuner type synchro monsters, along with non-tuner monsters, to special summon this guy from your extra deck. And next, here comes some of the black cards, which are Eads Monsters. These guys can be summoned by combining two or more monsters of the same level without any other cards to summon him. And so to summon an Eads monster, you must check the card that you're summoning to see, and check the field to see if two or more monsters have the exact same level as one another. And so, to actually get a Eads monster to the field, you overlay the monsters of the same level on top of one another. And then once that's done, you take the card, the Eads monster card, and summon it to the field either in attack position or defense position. And the cards underneath are known as Eads materials or overlay units. These Eads monsters can have special effects that can only be activated by discarding an Eads material from the Eads monster. And to do that, you just take one of the overlay units from underneath the Eads monster and send it to the graveyard to activate its effect. Once the Eads monster runs out of overlay units, it cannot use its effect anymore. So keep that in mind. And finally, the big ones. Pendulum Monster cards. These monster cards can be used as either normal, regular monster cards or spell cards in your pendulum zones. And when you're using a Pendulum Monster card as a spell in your pendulum zone, just place it in one of the pendulum zones, either blue or red. Use these stones, check the numbers underneath these blue stones to see what monsters you can use to summon at a time, once per turn, like what level of monsters, as well as use the pendulum effect written in the middle box. Though when you normal summon or pendulum summon a Pendulum Monster as a monster card, place it in the monster card zone and use its monster effect in the bottom box. Though be careful with your option, because once you place a Pendulum Monster card on the field as a spell in the pendulum zone or as a monster card, you cannot change it to the other type while it's on the field. And if the Pendulum Monster would be destroyed either as a monster card or a spell card in one of your pendulum zones, place it face up on the top of your extra deck, so it can be pendulum summoned back to the field later on. Now I'll explain the information shown on each monster. See the little numbers with the letters A, T, K, and D, E, F? That's your attack and defense points. These numbers are used to judge the result of a battle between one of your monsters and your opponent's monsters. So if the card's in attack position like this, the attack points are applied. But if the card's in horizontal defense position, the defense points are applied like this. See the little circles with stars in them that look like Dragon Balls? That's the level of the monster. They indicate the strength of a monster and can be used when performing either ritual summons, pendulum summons, synchro summons, or even Eads summons. And in general, the higher level monsters with lots of stars are powerful. See the text where it says warrior, tuner, and effect? That's a type. The type shows the feature of a monster, as well as the description. You need to pay careful attention to both of these, because the types can be affected by specific spells. See that little circle with a Japanese kanji in it? That is the attribute. There's 6 different attributes. In addition to the type, you also have to pay incredible attention to the attribute, because some spell or traps or monster effects are applied to a specific attribute. Next comes the green cards, which are spells. These guys have various effects, such as increasing your monster's attack or defense, destroy a monster, control a monster, hurt your opponent, etc., etc. And yeah, you can use a spell during your turn. And besides normal spells, there's 6 other types. 5 other types, actually. Continuous, equip, field, quick play, and ritual. If you check the icon on the cards, next to the letter D, you could easily distinguish what kind of spell it is. And for more details, you could either check out the rulebook or the official website. Last but not least are the traps, which are these pink or light violet cards. These can be placed. When using these, you must place them face down in your spell and trap card zone. Then you can activate them after the start of your opponent's turn by just simply flipping it face up. The effects of traps are very similar to spells, though a unique feature of traps is that if you time it right, you can activate these on your opponent's turn. And in most cases, traps are the cards that can help you out if your life depends on them during a duel. And besides normal traps, there's 2 other types of traps: continuous and counter. Check your rulebook for details. And so, is everything clear so far? Good. Now, in the next episode, which is a 2-parter, I'm going to go over the different steps of how to play the game that could affect your dueling style, and so you can create your own personal tournament, legal, and invincible deck. So for until then, TTFM, and duel on, people.